Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. You see the thumbnail. I know why you're here. The New York Giants top 10 players going into the 2024 season. And this is my top 10, not necessarily your top 10. This list might shock some people, might make some people mad. You know, some people, it might be spot on to what you're thinking or how you have these guys listed. But do me a favor in the comments down below. Go ahead and put your top 10 New York Giants players going into the 2024 season. And while you're at it, if this is your first time at the channel, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. If you are a New York Giants fan, the way that I'm a New York Giants fan, fanatic, bleed blue, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. If this is not your first time to the channel and you still have not subscribed to the channel, shame on you. Shame on you, but guess what? You get to fix that by hitting that like and subscribe button right now. So without further ado, let's get into this top 10 list. So I do have an honorable mention, one of them. I do have one, and that's going to be Wan'Dale Robinson. Shout out to Wan'Dale Robinson. Had a pretty good OTAs, a pretty good mini camp. He's looking really healthy. He's at the podium telling everybody he's hitting GPS numbers that he has never hit before. Can't wait to see it on the field. I can't wait to see it on the field. He's taking a leadership role in that wide receiver room and possibly the team. So shout out to Wan'Dale Robinson, but you did not make my top 10 list this year. We'll see what happens. I might be dead wrong with this too, and he might be on your top 10 list. Again, let me know in the comment section down below. So first off, as my paper is rustling. So first off, number 10 on the list. Number 10 on the list, Darius Slayton, wide receiver for the New York Giants. Darius Slayton. Well, first off, he made the top 10. Probably the most consistent New York Giant we've had since 2019. As far as the wide receivers go, the most productive wide receiver we've had since 2019, since the Daniel Jones era. And yeah, he's 10 on my list. Not sure what's going to happen this year with with us drafting Malik Nabers. Could his numbers go down? Could Nabers help his numbers improve? We'll see what happens with that. But right now, for me, right now today, Darius Slayton is a top 10 when it comes to the New York Giants roster. And again, he's number 10. Number 9 on my list, Deonte Banks. Bank is closed on Sundays, Mondays, and sometimes Thursdays, depending on when those games are happening. Deonte Banks is number 9 on my list. For some people, that might seem kind of low, but for me, with the type of season that he had last year, I think it's spot on to be a top 10 player on the roster. This year is a big step up year for him. He could be in the top 5 next year. He could be a top 10 cornerback in the league next year too, but we'll see what happens. But Deonte Banks is number 9 on my list. Number 8 might shock a few people. Might make a couple of people mad, but Malik Nabers. Malik Nabers is number 8 on my list. I know. Wide receiver 1. All these expectations, the Odell Beckham vibes. We've seen all the clips and the videos, the one-handed grabs in the end zones, but he has not played a snap for the New York Giants yet. So even though he might be the most anticipated New York Giant on the list, he could be number 1 when it comes to the most anticipated debuts for the New York Giants. But for me right now, in comparison to this list, and I'm trying to keep it realistic, Malik Nabers is number 8 on that list. Number 7, the guy that has Malik Nabers' number right now is Graham Gano. Graham Gano is still a top 10 player for the New York Giants. Probably the leading scorer for the New York Giants right now. I need to check the Carfax on that. But he's old reliable, old faithful for the New York Field Goal Giants. That's my nickname because we love to kick those field goals. And with Graham Gano healthy, hopefully he looks healthy. He's at OTAs. He's at minicamp. He's kicking pretty well. For me, Graham Gano, even though he's just a kicker, still a top 10 player for the New York Giants. That was 7. Number 6. Number 6 is who? The quarterback. Number 6 is Daniel Jones on my top 10 Giants list. Now, some people are probably throwing their phones right now. Some people are probably saying he's not even a top 10 player for the New York Giants. That's just, you can't say that. You can't say that because guess what? At the end of the day, the quarterback is the most important position on the field. In sports, too, to say that. And if the New York Giants are going to be successful in 2024, then Daniel Jones has to be somewhat successful too. So Daniel Jones is number 6 on my list. He did not crack the top 5. I'm curious to see how y'all people feel about that. Again, put your top 10 in the comment section below. So now we're getting into the top 5. This is not going to be a long video. We're getting into the top 5. Number 5 on this list for my top 10 Giants. Number 5 is edge rusher Kayvon Thibodeaux. Tibbs had 11.5 sacks last year, but they talked about all they talked about is that his pass rush win rate was down. So never mind 11.5 sacks. You know, the statistics say that he didn't have the best year, but even though the sacks say he had a pretty good year. So Kayvon Thibodeaux, 5th on my list. Now here's the thing. Kayvon Thibodeaux, if he keeps this trajectory, if he starts getting or winning more in that pass rush win rate, you might see him in the top 3 or something like that next year. We don't know. But I'm hoping that he has a successful season. He already is talking about he wants to beat Michael Strahan's record. Guess what? I hope so. I hope he does. Keep that record, you know, with the Giants. Keep it with the team. So number 4 on the list is the counterpart of Kayvon Thibodeaux, our big free agent grab this offseason, Brian Burns. Brian Burns is 4th on my list. I know some people like he has to be top 3, top 2, something like that. No, not for me. Not this year, not yet. I have not seen him play as a New York Giant yet. So Brian Burns, even though that there's high anticipation and expectations for Brian Burns, for me he's not quite, you know, guess what, a top 3 guy yet. And I'm not mad at my top 3, and I think you guys won't be mad either. But Brian Burns is 4th on that list. Number 3. Number 3 is the glue for the defense. Number 3 is what the New York Giants waited so long for so many years as a quality middle linebacker. And number 3 is Bobby Okereke. Bobby Okereke, number 3 on my list of the top 10 New York Giants going into the 2024 season. The guy played 100% of the snaps last year. 100% of the snaps last year. Only 2 people, I believe there's only 2 people in the league played 100% of the snaps last year, and both of those guys were on the New York Giants. You had Xavier McKinney and you had Bobby Okereke. Go ahead and check the Carfax. I might have left somebody off of that list if they played for another team. I don't care as much, but I know that Xavier McKinney and Bobby Okereke both played 100% of the snaps last year. And guess what? Mr. Dependable, Mr. Smart and Tough, all that stuff, that's Bobby Okereke. He's the glue. You know, he's that second level. He's the quarterback on the defensive side. Bobby Okereke, shout out to him. Hopefully he has an even better year this year. You know, with the additions of Brian Burns and what Brian Burns can do to help out everybody else on the field on that defensive side, Bobby Okereke could have, you know, finally an all-pro type of season. Definitely a Pro Bowl type of season, even though I think he got snubbed last year. He should have been in the Pro Bowl, or he should have been a Pro Bowler. But Bobby Okereke is right there at the cusp of being an all-pro caliber middle linebacker. So number 2 on the list. Number 2 on the list is our left tackle, Andrew Thomas. Now, last year he didn't have his best year. 2022 was better than last year as far as grades go. He wasn't always healthy either. But for me, Andrew Thomas is probably the best player on our offense. Yes, actually, it's just not even a question. He is the best player on the offense, and he is second overall, in my opinion, for the New York Giants in this top 10 list. Andrew Thomas, as long as Andrew Thomas is healthy, Andrew Thomas can be an all-pro. As long as he's healthy, as long as he can stay on the field, he's going to be an all-pro. That's just how I feel about it. That's just is what it is. So shout out to Andrew Thomas. Again, number 2 on my top 10 list of the Giants going into the 2024 season. And finally, there's no surprise. Everybody knows whose name I'm going to say right now. As the number 1 player for the New York Giants in this top 10 list, number 1, without a doubt, hands down, non-debatable, not trying to hear it. Go ahead, shut your mouth if you think anything different. Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is the number 1 player on the New York Giants, and the thing that makes me the most mad about it is he's still not a household name quite yet. He's still not a household name quite yet. If my wife doesn't know his name really, or recognize him, with his helmet off, then he's not considered a household name yet. And my wife is kind of a football junkie, more of a Pittsburgh Steelers junkie, but she watches football too. And again, she couldn't point out Dexter Lawrence if I showed her a picture of him, because he's not quite a household name. She could point out Aaron Rodgers. She can point out, Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and guys like that. Dexter Lawrence has not made it to superstar level yet, even though he's a superstar on the field without a doubt. But Dexter Lawrence rounds off my top 10 players for the New York Giants going into the 2024 season. Let me put my notebook down. Let me know how you feel about this. Again, in the comment section down below, go ahead and let me know how you feel about my list. If you have your own top 10 list, go ahead and put that in the comment section down below too as well. I can't wait to see some of these lists and debate this list with you guys. And yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think about it. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And for one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.